You know, at this age, we begin to feel our bodies in a very different way. Every morning when we wake up, the knees might complain a little, the hips feel stiff, and the lower back sends out a small reminder that time has been resting on our shoulders for quite a while. And in all my years as a joint surgeon, I've heard hundreds, maybe even thousands of patients tell me the exact same thing, doctor. I walk every day. I thought I was doing the best thing for my health. And honestly, I understand them. The whole world believes walking is the perfect exercise. What could be safer? Right? Good shoes. 10,000 steps a day, a smart watch to track everything, and an entire $300 billion industry cheering us on. But today, I want to share something with you, something that might surprise you. And I hope you listen not with doubt, but with the calm understanding of someone who has lived long enough to know that sometimes the most popular beliefs aren't always the truest ones. I've met so many patients in their 60s, 70s, even 80s people who walk faithfully every single day, yet still end up needing knee replacements, hip surgery, or treatment for severe spinal degeneration. There was a patient of mine, Martha, 67 years old. She told me, "David, I walk 5 miles a day. I thought I was doing everything right." I still remember the confusion in her eyes when I gently replied, "Walking isn't wrong, but it's not enough. And sometimes, walking too much can actually cause harm." Have you ever felt like Martha? Trying your best to take care of yourself, yet your body doesn't respond the way you hoped. The problem isn't that walking is bad. The problem is how the body changes after 60. Cartilage gets thinner. Muscles, especially the ones around the hips and thighs, become weaker much faster than you think. Blood circulation slows down, and when the muscles are weak, the joints are forced to carry more weight. And when joints carry too much load, every step becomes a tiny moment of friction against the cartilage. I want you to imagine something. You have a wooden chair you've used for 30 years. If you sit gently, it's fine, but if you sit on it over and over, for hours every day, without oiling, without strengthening the worn spots, what do you think will happen? Our joints are that chair. Walking is a repeated movement, thousands of steps every single day. If the muscles aren't strong enough to support you, the joints wear down faster, especially the knees, hips, and spine. And recent research in orthopedics and vascular science shows that walking alone is not enough to protect the aging body. I know this may feel surprising, but the science is very clear. Only 7 types of movement have been proven to restore muscle strength, protect joints from degeneration, improve blood circulation, reduce fracture risk by more than 40%, and even strengthen the brain. What's fascinating is that these 7 forms of movement are far more powerful than walking. They train the muscles, balance, reflexes, and mobility, things walking barely touches. You see, health after 60 isn't just about moving. It's about moving the right way. I remember a 74-year-old patient named Charles. When he first came into my clinic, he walked slowly, leaning heavily on a cane. He said, "I've walked all my life, but the more I walk, the more I hurt." We started a personalized program where walking was only about 10%. The rest focused on strengthening his glutes, thighs, and back, improving balance, and practicing a few gentle mobility techniques. 3 months later, Charles put the cane away. 6 months later, he told me, "Doctor, I feel 10 years younger. That wasn't a miracle. That was simply science applied correctly for the aging body." And today, I want you to pause for just a moment and ask yourself, do I walk because it truly helps me, or because I've only been told that it does? If your knees hurt after walking, if your hips feel uncomfortable every time you step off a curb, if your back aches after just 20 or 30 minutes of moving around, that isn't a sign that you're getting old. It's your body telling you it's time to change the way you exercise, not to exercise more, but to exercise smarter. What I want to share with you today is simple. Don't let old habits pull you away from a healthier, stronger version of yourself. Walking can be part of the journey, but it was never meant to be the whole journey. Let me be here for you as someone who has been in this field for 35 years, performed thousands of surgeries, and listened to the stories of so many people just like you. And I truly believe your body deserves the most accurate, effective, age-appropriate methods we know from modern medicine. So keep following along, because in the coming videos, I'll teach you each of the 7 forms of movement that orthopedic surgeons, including myself, strongly recommend for people over 60. Trust me, once you begin correctly, your joints will thank you every single day. Now, I want to invite you into the first practice among those 7 movements, Tai Chi. You know, every time I see older adults practicing Tai Chi in the park, I feel like time slows down just a little. There's something incredibly peaceful about it, almost as if the mind and body finally find their way back to each other after years of rushing through life. I once had a patient named Helen, 72 years old. She used to be terrified of falling. Even stepping down a small curb made her nervous. After I suggested she try Tai Chi, she came back and said, "Dr. David, I never thought such slow, gentle movements could change my body this much." And she was right. Science shows that Tai Chi can reduce fall risk by up to 47%, something no other exercise does as effectively for older adults. Those slow, deliberate shifts in weight wake up the deep muscles around the ankles, hips, and spine, the same muscles that protect your balance every single day. When you lift your arms gently, shift your weight onto one leg, rotate your torso softly, that's not just movement. That's you teaching your brain how to coordinate, stabilize, and react again. Skills that aging quietly steals from us without warning. Have you noticed that as we get older, we feel less connected to our own bodies? We move faster than we're able to control. We stand up without noticing whether our feet are steady. And one day, a tiny slip becomes a frightening moment. Tai Chi gives that connection back gracefully, safely, and beautifully. And what's even more extraordinary is that Tai Chi doesn't just help the body. It activates areas of the brain tied to memory, focus, and decision-making. For people over 60, keeping the mind sharp is just as important as protecting the joints. If you've never tried it, give yourself the chance. Just 10 to 15 minutes each morning in the yard, the living room, anywhere. Slow, gentle, as if you're having a quiet conversation with your body after many years apart. You'll be surprised at how much steadier, stronger, and younger you'll feel in a way that's hard to put into words. Now, the second exercise I want to share with you today seems almost too simple. Step up, stepping up and down a small platform. But don't underestimate it. After 35 years in this profession, I've learned that the simplest exercises often create the most powerful changes for older adults. I want you to picture this. Every day, you step into a car, onto your porch, up a stair. These small movements require your body to coordinate several important muscle groups, especially the glutes, thighs, and the balance systems inside your brain. I once had a 68-year-old patient, Robert, who told me, "Doctor, I didn't feel weak until one day I couldn't step up into my truck anymore." He wasn't injured, he wasn't in pain. His legs simply didn't have the strength to lift him the way they used to. And that is why step-ups matter so much. Just one small step, 4 to 6 inches high, and you step up, then down, slowly and with control. Sounds simple, doesn't it? But every time you raise your body, your glutes and thighs fire up, just like when you climb stairs. These muscles are the natural shock absorbers for your knees and hips when they're strong. Your joints stay protected. But more importantly, step-ups retrain your brain and balance system to distribute weight properly. One wrong or rushed step is all it takes for an older adult to lose balance. But with practice, your body becomes more responsive, more stable. I always tell my patients, hold the handrail when you're starting. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. Because the goal isn't to do more. The goal is to do it right and safely. I remember once, after 5 weeks of practicing step-ups, a 74-year-old patient named Linda came back for her checkup. She smiled and said, "Dr. David," for the first time in years. I walked up the porch steps without holding onto the wall. The pride in her voice warmed my heart in a way I can't quite describe. You see, strength doesn't always come from big, dramatic changes. Sometimes it comes from small, consistent steps. And step-ups are exactly the kind of exercise that help you regain control of your legs one step at a time. Literally. The third exercise I want you to imagine is something that feels very familiar, pulling yourself upright. Not just physically, but in posture and confidence. That's the power of resistance band rows. As we get older, our backs slowly begin to round forward without us noticing. Not because we want to, but because the muscles that keep us upright, especially the upper back and rear shoulder muscles, grow weaker over the years. One day you look in the mirror and think, when did my back start curving like this? I remember an older gentleman named Michael. 76. He told me, "Doctor, I don't feel tall anymore. Not because my height changed, but because it feels like something is pulling me downward." He wasn't exaggerating. When your back muscles weaken, your shoulders roll forward, your chest compresses, and even your breathing becomes shallow. Your body simply no longer has the space to open up. Resistance band rows help undo that. When you sit down, hold a resistance band in front of you and gently pull it back slowly. With control, you're waking up the muscles that keep your spine straight. I often tell patients, imagine you're pulling yourself back into the posture you had in your 20s or 30s. And the beauty of this exercise is remarkable. It reduces neck and shoulder pain, prevents rounding of the spine, and even increases lung capacity. For older adults, deep breathing isn't just oxygen, it's energy, it's life. Another thing I love about this exercise is how simple it is. No heavy weights, no gym membership, just a resistance band, and you can do it right in your living room, even on the couch if your knees are sensitive. I once taught an 81-year-old woman named Margaret how to do resistance band rows for 5 minutes each morning. 3 weeks later, she told me, "Dr. David, I don't know when it happened, but I stopped having to support my neck when watching TV." That's the kind of change you don't notice in a single day, but you feel deeply when you look back over weeks. You see, protecting your spine doesn't just help you stand straighter, it helps you live straighter in a much deeper sense. The fourth exercise I want to share with you might sound almost too familiar, sitting down and standing up from a chair. We call it chair squats. But don't let its simplicity fool you. Behind this exercise lies a powerful secret about mobility after age 60. I still remember an afternoon many years ago when a 79-year-old woman named Eleanor came for an appointment. Sitting down was fine, but when she tried to stand up, she had to push herself up with both hands and lean forward. I asked her when she started needing her hands like that. She paused and said, "I'm not sure. Doctor, I guess I just thought, as long as I can stand up, that's good enough." But that is exactly the moment that matters. When you can no longer stand up using just your legs, your body is losing strength faster than you realize. And here's why I insist on chair squats for every older patient. Just improving this one movement can reduce your risk of losing mobility by 38%. That means keeping the independence we all want, getting out of bed, going to the bathroom, sitting down at the table, all without needing someone's help. When you sit down and stand up slowly and with control, you're activating the most essential muscles, your glutes, thighs, and lower back. These are the muscles that determine whether you can take care of yourself as you age. I often tell patients, when you do chair squats, you're not just lifting your body off a chair, you're lifting the quality of your life. Imagine placing your feet firmly on the ground, keeping your back straight, lowering yourself gently, not dropping, and then rising again, using your legs only. Each repetition is like sending a message to your body. I'm still here. I still have strength. Another patient of mine, a 73-year-old man named Harold, avoided chair squats because of knee pain, but after 6 weeks of slow practice using a higher chair, he said, "David, I'm not afraid of low seats anymore. I feel more capable." You see, sometimes what transforms your life isn't a complicated exercise. It's simply learning to sit and stand properly every day, for a few minutes, with respect for the body that has carried you through a lifetime. Now, the fifth exercise I want to introduce is gentle but incredibly effective wall push-ups. Many people think push-ups are only for younger, stronger folks. But when done against a wall, this exercise becomes one of the safest, most powerful ways for adults over 60 to rebuild upper body strength without putting stress on the joints. I remember an older patient of mine, Norma, age 82. She said to me, "Dr. David, I can't open heavy doors anymore, and I can't push the grocery cart like I used to. I thought it was just old age. But honestly, I miss feeling strong." I taught her wall push-ups, just 10 to 12 repetitions a day, leaning gently into the wall, keeping her back straight, and slowly pushing away. 3 months later, she came back with a smile I'll never forget. "Now I open doors without help. I can even carry my little plant pots in the garden again." Doctor, it might sound small, but for older adults, that's independence. Wall push-ups don't just build strength in the arms, shoulders, and chest, they also help increase bone density in the shoulder and upper arm region. After age 60, bone loss is a reality, and gentle weight-bearing exercises like this help wake up the bones and encourage them to rebuild. Another reason I love this exercise is that it puts no stress on the joints, no knee pain like squats, no wrist strain like floor push-ups. Just the gentle weight of your own body and a solid wall in front of you. And here's something surprising. Upper body strength is directly linked to fall prevention. When older adults slip or lose balance, the arms are the hero that help them catch themselves. But if the arms and shoulders are weak, even a small fall can turn into a serious injury. I often tell my patients, every time you push against that wall, you're preparing your body for a critical moment, the moment you might need to save yourself. Stand a short distance from the wall, place your palms on it, lean in slowly, then push away gently. No rushing, no straining, steady breathing. That's all it takes to start transforming your upper body. You'll feel your arms getting stronger, your shoulders more flexible, and your confidence growing each time you walk across your yard or down the sidewalk. The sixth exercise I want you to try seems incredibly simple, but it holds special meaning for older adults. The heel-to-toe walk, walking in a straight line with your heel touching the toes of your other foot. Just hearing the name, you can probably picture it already. But what may surprise you is this: it's one of the most powerful exercises for improving coordination and dynamic balance. I often tell my patients, aging doesn't take away your strength all at once. It begins by taking away your balance. And you know, this one small moment of imbalance can lead to a fall that takes months, even a year, to recover from. A 70-year-old patient named June once told me, "David, I don't know why, but every time I turn into the kitchen, I wobble a bit. I don't fall, but I feel unsure." When I tested her, she wasn't weak at all. Her muscles were still good, but the coordination between her eyes, brain, and legs had slowed down. And guess where I started her? With the heel-to-toe walk. Imagine you're walking along a tight rope drawn across your floor. Step 1, heel touches the toes of the other foot. Step 2, another slow, deliberate step. As if your body is learning balance all over again. It looks gentle, but inside your body, a whole control system is at work. Tiny muscles around your ankles keep you from tipping side to side. Your hips make micro-adjustments to keep you upright. Your brain processes constant signals to keep you centered. That's why just 3 to 5 minutes a day can create a big change. You can practice in a hallway, on a safe walkway, or next to a wall for support. I still remember when June came back after 4 weeks. She said, "I'm not afraid to walk quickly anymore. I feel like my feet know exactly where they're going." That sentence moved me deeply. Because for older adults, confidence while walking is the foundation of independence. Heel-to-toe walk not only improves your gait and reduces fall risk, it helps you reconnect with your legs. Something we often assume is fine, until the body reminds us it needs attention. The seventh exercise, and the one I consider the final gem in this set of 7 for adults over 60, is single leg stands, standing on one leg while gradually increasing the difficulty. It sounds simple, but you'll be amazed by how much this one exercise can transform your mobility. The truth is, we all assume standing on one leg is easy. When we're young, our bodies do it automatically. But as the years pass, the first thing to quietly leave us is balance. I once had a patient named Samuel, 71. He came in feeling discouraged. He said, "Dr. David, I've fallen twice this year, nothing serious, but I'm afraid the next one will be worse." When I evaluated him, his strength wasn't bad, but he couldn't stand on one leg for more than 3 seconds. You might not believe this, but a simple single leg stand done correctly can reduce your risk of falling by up to 36%. It can even improve your walking speed by 12%, enough to turn a slow, unsure gait into one that's steadier, stronger, and more confident. I usually guide my patients to start very gently. Place your hand on a wall or a sturdy chair. Lift one foot just a few centimeters off the ground and hold. Breathe evenly. No tension, no rushing. As your body adapts, you can loosen your grip, then slowly increase the time. What matters is not how long you stand. What matters is this: Your brain and your neuromuscular system are relearning how to coordinate, stabilize, and keep you upright. Tiny muscles around your ankles, stabilizers in your hips, your lower back, they're all reawakening. You're restoring the natural balance your body once had, before age quietly began to wear it down. I remember when Samuel returned for his follow-up after 6 weeks. He stood in front of me and said, "Watch this. Doctor, I can hold it for 18 seconds now." And he stood there, one leg firmly planted, a small but powerful victory. I looked at him and felt proud, as if I'd accomplished it myself. You see, sometimes good health doesn't come from complicated movements. It comes from learning how to stand strong, literally. And once you can stand strong on one leg, you'll often find yourself standing stronger in life as well. Now that we've walked through all Tavun exercises, I want you to pause for a moment and reflect. What you've just learned isn't just a list of movements. It's a journey, one that helps your body return to what it's truly capable of. When you combine these exercises, the softness of Tai Chi, the strength of step-ups, the grounding power of chair squats, the precision of heel-to-toe walking, and the mindful focus of bicycle leg stands, you're doing something many people at 60, 70, or 80 never thought they could do again. You're rebuilding strength, balance, posture, and coordination comprehensively. Imagine your body as a house that has sheltered you for decades. These exercises aren't meant to rebuild that house. They're meant to maintain it, tightening each joint, reinforcing each muscle, stabilizing every structure that supports your daily life. As your muscles and joints grow stronger, and your neuromuscular system becomes more coordinated, you'll begin to notice real, meaningful changes. Joint pain easing day by day, a straighter, more confident posture, fewer moments of imbalance, and a gentle, peaceful sense that your body feels younger again. I've watched many of my patients break free from the fear of falling after just a few weeks of steady practice. And what moves me most is when they say, "Doctor, I feel like I've taken back control of my life." If you're watching this video, I want you to know this: at any age, you can reclaim long-lasting mobility. You don't need complicated workouts. You don't need a gym. You just need yourself, a small corner of your home, and a little patience every day. And if you found these insights helpful, hit the like button, so I know you're walking this journey with me. Share this video with a friend or family member who's also trying to improve their health after 60. And don't forget to subscribe, because I still have many more exercises, stories, and evidence-based tips to share with you, the people I consider the quiet warriors of time. Thank you for spending your time with me. We'll meet again in the next video. Take care of your body, because it truly is the greatest gift you have.